Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain and go way beyond the typical reports you see. We're going to explore the hidden brain, the central nervous system, really, that actually runs a company. We're talking about management accounting, the secret toolkit that helps businesses figure out where they're going.
But let's kick things off with a question. Have you ever thought about how a product that's just flying off the shelves when everyone loves could secretly be a money pit? I mean, it sounds crazy, right? You're selling tons of them, customers are thrilled, but for some reason the profits just aren't there. It's a super common puzzle and a really dangerous one.
Well, the answer isn't something you'll find in the annual reports you send out to investors. Nope. The answer is found inside the company, using a system that's not designed to look back at what happened, but to actually shape what happens next. This is the whole world of management accounting, and it's all about giving the people inside the business the right information to make much, much better decisions.
And it is absolutely crucial to get this difference. You see, financial accounting, that's the one we all kind of know about. It's for outsiders, it's for the investors, the banks, the government. It's all about history, and it has to follow a bunch of super strict rules. Management accounting, it's the total opposite. It's for the insiders, the people actually running the show. It's flexible, it's all about the future, and its only job is to help the team plan better, stay in control, and make smarter choices.
Okay, so let's actually see how this works. We're going to start by looking at a huge, and I mean huge, blind spot in the old school way of doing accounting. And to do that, let's meet a fictional company we'll call Apex Manufacturing. So Apex has this problem. Their profits are totally flat. And that's weird because their main product, this standard widget, sells like crazy. They also have this other specialized, low-volume, premium widget. Now here's the kicker. Their accounting system says both products are making a nice, healthy profit. So, if both products are winners, why isn't the whole company winning? Where's the money going?
The problem, it turns out, is how they're counting the costs. See, Apex, like a ton of companies, uses what's called traditional costing. This basically takes all the indirect costs, factory rent, machine maintenance, all that stuff we call overhead, and just spreads it over the products like peanut butter, using one simple measurement, like how many hours of labor it takes. The thinking is, hey, the more you make, the more overhead you should get. Simple enough. And right there, that's the giant flaw. It just assumes that making more of something automatically means it uses up more of all those background resources. But hang on a second. What if that complicated, custom, low-volume product needs way more machine setups, more quality checks, more careful handling of materials? The traditional system is completely blind to all of that. So, how do we fix this? How do we actually see where the costs are truly going? Well, this brings us to part 2 of our story, grabbing a much more powerful magnifying glass to uncover what's really happening. And look, this isn't just a theory, it's a well-known problem. This old way of costing things has a bad habit of punishing the simple, high-volume products by dumping too much overhead cost on them. Meanwhile, the complex, pain-in-the-neck products kind of get a free ride, looking cheaper than they actually are. And that leads to terrible pricing, bad strategy, the whole shebang. And this right here shows you the dangerously misleading picture the managers at Apex were looking at. According to their numbers, both widgets look equally great. Each one is making them a clean $15 per unit. So what do you do with that information? You think, awesome, everything's fine, let's just keep making both. You have no idea there's a problem. So let's introduce the solution, activity-based costing, or ABC. Instead of one big sloppy bucket for overhead, ABC says, hold on, let's trace these costs with some precision. It looks at the actual activities that are driving costs, things like setting up a machine or inspecting a part, and it links those costs directly to the products that are actually causing those activities to happen. It basically works in 2 stages. First, you group your overhead costs into these activity pools, so you don't have one giant factory overhead bucket anymore. Now you've got a machine setup bucket, a quality inspection bucket, and so on. Then, for stage 2, you assign the costs from each bucket to products using a specific driver. So the costs in the machine setup bucket get assigned based on the number of setups a product actually needs, not just how many of them you make. And boom, here's the result. Once you apply ABC, the entire picture flips on its head. The standard widget, the one that runs in these long, efficient production runs, is actually way more profitable than they thought. It's making them $20 a pop. But the premium widget, with all its custom work and special handling, it's a secret money loser. It's actually costing Apex $5 for every single one they sell. And just like that, the puzzle is solved.
Okay, so now that Apex has a real handle on its costs, it can start using some other really cool management accounting tools to make better day-to-day decisions.
So let's imagine a new situation. Right now, Apex makes a key part for its widgets in-house. A supplier calls them up and says, hey, we can sell you that same exact part for $11 a unit. This is a classic make or buy decision. So what should they do? To figure this out, we need a technique called marginal costing, and the idea behind it is incredibly powerful. It says that for these kinds of short-term decisions, you should only focus on the costs that will actually change because of the decision. We call these relevant costs. You completely ignore fixed costs, like the rent on the factory, because guess what? You're paying that rent whether you make the part or buy it. It's irrelevant to this choice. So when we use this way of thinking, the decision becomes incredibly clear. To make the part, the relevant costs, the materials, the direct labor, the variable overhead, they all add up to exactly $11. And the cost to buy it is also $11. So financially, it's a complete wash. Now, instead of getting lost in a spreadsheet, Apex can focus on the things that really matter, like, is the supply reliable? What about quality control? It lets them focus on the strategic questions. All right, so we've gone from fixing the cost picture to making these really sharp short-term decisions. Now, let's zoom out. Management accounting is also about setting the long-term direction, about creating the roadmap for the whole company. And this is where budgets come in. Now, I know, the word budget can make you want to take a nap. We think of them as restrictive and boring, but in management accounting, a budget is so much more. It's a strategic roadmap. It's not just about controlling spending. It's a process that forces everyone to actually plan ahead, to get all the different departments on the same page, and to create a clear benchmark so you can see how you're doing later on. It's a tool for planning, not just policing. But these days, we know that success is about more than just hitting a financial target. So for our final part, let's look at how modern companies get a really complete picture of how they're performing. The key insight here is that looking at just one number, like profit, can be really misleading. I mean, a company could be juicing its short-term profits, but at the same time, customer satisfaction is in the toilet, and they haven't innovated in years. To get a real sense of a company's health, you have to look at it from a few different angles. And a super popular tool for this is the Balance Scorecard. It says you should track your performance across 4 key areas. First, there's the financial side. Are we making our shareholders happy? But then there's the customer perspective. How do our customers see us? Are they satisfied? Are they sticking around? Third, you look at your internal processes. What do we have to be amazing at to win? Is it quality? Speed? And finally, there's learning and growth. Are we investing in our people and our technology to make sure we can keep getting better in the future? So there you have it. From the detailed detective work of figuring out which products are secretly losers all the way up to the high-level strategic planning of the Balanced Scorecard, management accounting really is the operational and strategic brain of a business. It gives you the insights you need to make smart calls at every single level. We've seen how these tools can totally change the game, turning confusion into real clarity. So I'll leave you with this one question to think about. Now that you have the tools to look, what's the one hidden truth, the one secret money loser in your own work or your own business that you need to drag out into the light?